My name is Ben Orbach, and I'm the director of America's Unofficial Ambassadors. It's a little bit of a longer story of how I got involved. I guess I would go back to 9/11, and I was a graduate student of Arabic and Middle East Studies here in Washington, D.C. Obviously, all of us were left with so many questions after those attacks, and so I spent the year after 9/11 traveling around the Arab world and living in Jordan and Egypt. When I came back to the United States, I actually worked at the State Department for a little while, putting together different kinds of democratic reform programs, education programs, and I got to see this in action in terms of putting well-meaning Americans on the ground and working on a substantive accomplishment together. And so and an idea germinated for me in terms of how is it that we can multiply this and get more average Americans to go and do different kinds of volunteer work or service work. We have three main things that we focus on. The first is that our volunteers have an impact in their work. At the end of a service period, that our unofficial ambassadors and our local partners are going to look back on what the volunteer and the local leadership accomplished together, and there'll be something tangible there to point to, whether it's better English language skills, or whether they built something, or it's a website, or funding for a program. And that really helps us get to the next objective, which is to dispel stereotypes. That we place people in community situations where they're really the face of America. So we're dispelling stereotypes in that way. And then the third objective is to come home and dispel stereotypes. That a big part of our initiative is building mutual understanding. So volunteers blog about their experience while they're there. And then they also give community level presentations in their synagogues or churches or at their high school or on campus. Since we launched in March of 2011, we've sent or supported more than 50 Americans to go and volunteer in 9 different countries, including Morocco. With Morocco, we had a number of different contexts in which we could begin this process of finding partners. We've developed this relationship with Al University in Ifran, and we have a number of non-governmental organizations and service delivery, community-based organizations in the Ifran area, in Azru, and a couple of villages surrounding it, where we now send volunteers on an annual basis. Some of our volunteers in Morocco have really done some fantastic things. Obviously, Morocco is a Francophone country, and so in one of our placements over the summer, we had students from Duke University and the University of Maryland who were teaching English at the Azru Center, which is located in Azru. It's a fantastic place that offers all kinds of vocational training programs, everything from hairdressing for high school dropouts to there's a health clinic. But they've never been able to offer English language courses before because they didn't have anyone who would be able to teach English language courses. Another great example of service in Morocco was at the Ifran National Park. And if you've been to the Ifran National Park, you know that it's a beautiful place, but not enough people know that it's a beautiful place. And so one of our unofficial ambassadors last summer, she helped them with the park's website and doing different kinds of social media and community outreach to a lot of the different tourism boutique websites and shops of that regard that focus on Morocco, so that we would be able to get more visitors to the park. We have other examples of a volunteer who worked with micro-entrepreneurs in a village with no running water and who taught them basic arithmetic. That here they were making all kinds of crafts and selling rugs, and they had no idea in terms of accounting whether they were actually making money or not, or what they should be focused on in terms of their sales, and so there's value to that. It's very exciting how we're building this program in Morocco and what our expectations are for how it's going to grow over the next couple of years. Last year, we were in our first year of sending volunteers to Morocco. We sent 8 volunteers to Morocco. We expect to increase that to 12 this upcoming summer, and then we expect that we'll begin sending volunteers all year round starting in January of 2015. These are fantastic opportunities for the volunteers themselves who go, but also for Friends of Morocco here in the United States to support the relationship between America and Morocco and to get more well-meaning Americans on the ground in communities who are doing something productive, that not just as far as building something together, but forcing people to have a deeper bridge between America and the United States on a personal level.